Hey, what's going on, guys? William Barry here, coming at you live from the power of the internet. And I still got some Red Bull here, so we're going to do another reaction. Got to get some work done, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do. We can't just write songs all day and video essays and talk about our feelings. We got to get back to work, my guy. And the best way to do that is by heading over to Buy Me a Coffee. Today's video is sponsored by our boy Tom. Tom W has always been a big channel supporter, and much love and respect to him. He said, "Hey, brother!" The anti-Vincent was staring at you in the face the whole time. It's Prof. Born into poverty, dealt a raw hand, but instead of bitching and moaning, he set out grinding for 20-odd years, and it's finally getting his dues. The song is the middle finger to all who said it couldn't get to that level, because of who he was or who he was associated with. The fact that he was independent. This coffee is for Prof, Creek Boy, and it's the official music video, which I got it right over here. If you would like to support this channel and request some kind of content, it doesn't have to be music. I'll react to whatever. I ask that it tries to be ad friendly, but if it can't be, I can always turn off advertisement. That's okay. I'll react to whatever you got, man. Throw it my way if you like. If you want to, just go over to buymeacoffee.com/losttogod. Anyway, thanks to a sponsor like Tim W or Tom W. Tim Jam. Sorry, I was remembering my days at tire discounters. My boss, Tim, was awesome. And Tom is awesome. He's one of the few people that has delved into the depths of all of my content. He's even followed some of my music releases. That's a little wild. Anyway, guys, we're going to get into Creek Boy. And Prof has been one of the most interesting journeys that I've ever been on. See, like, Rin has this cool, like, great mythical king status. Like, he's got like talent dripping from his fingers in every direction he goes. Now, it's hard-earned talent through years of hard work, but you could tell that he started relatively talented. Like, I wouldn't say talented, but he started like pretty good, and then like he grew exponentially. Prof feels more like a shonen anime character in how he started small, weak, and has been growing and growing, and now he's like, he didn't have an explosive rise, maybe like Ren did, where he blew up almost overnight after doing it for 10 years. Prof has had more of a slow, gradual build into like this weird fucking momentumous like wave. And it's cool that Prof did it while being kind of a perverted guy that is tattooed, gross, and willing to be disgusting on camera. And that's like a unique thing in an industry where everyone's got to look prim and proper. Prof is an interesting character.
The show we're putting on and the string of sellouts and how kind of historical it is, how do I describe what is happening in front of my eyes every night? And you ready?
If I put my mind to it, little buddy, you know I'ma do it all the way. Roaches hate I'm making moves, I listen about as much as I can tolerate. From here on out, we cutting out the people who don't contribute to winning.
Hey, that's a smart statement, but you got to be careful on what you consider contribute to winning. So like, one of the dangerous things about cutting people out of your life if they're negative is sometimes that negativity can be a good thing. If someone has a genuine criticism for how you should either like run your life or your YouTube channel or your music, you should take into consideration what they're saying. If it's legitimate, if it's coming from a place of love and compassion, and you can tell that they've thought this through and they're articulating something that they really want to explain to you, that is still contributing to your movement. But if they're like, your shit's trash, and you're like, but why? And they're like, just trash. That's not a person that you need to have around. Like, that's not someone giving you any effort or value. Even if your stuff is trash, you want someone to help you build it into something better. If insulting something without critique is bad, that's not enjoyable. But if you critique something, you're doing so because often you care. So having people in your circle that aren't just yes men, but that critique you is also very important. But that depends on your own individual ego level and whether or not you can take criticism. But usually the best artists are people that have taken criticism, you know, or they've listened to haters, but they've proven those haters wrong. That could be a form of criticism too. It's just, you still want people in your corner that are trying to lift you up and not tear you down.
People who don't contribute to winning. Raise a glass to everybody who was here from the fucking beginning. toast, I'm talking about.
And that's the reason why a lot of people, when they make it or make it, bigger or whatever, they do want to stick around with the people that knew them before they became this other entity. And those are the relationships they rely on and trust the most, because it is easy as someone who, and look, I'm never going to be the same level of prof fame or, money wise. Like, I can't be like, I want a joint, and then someone makes a joint appear. That doesn't happen in my life. Matter of fact, I'm over here like, okay, I got like 9 nugs left. If I get this nug and break it up, I can sparse this out and maybe enjoy a high. It won't be a big high, but I can at least be mellowed for most of the day. Okay. You know what I mean? I have to like get mathematical with my shit, But it makes sense why people become that way. Because if you are in some level of fame, you know that everyone that's around you is going to have like transactional relationships with you. And when I was a truck driver, an independent contractor at the age of 21 to the age of 25, I made about $300,000 a year. And that's not a lot of money for like rich people, but that is like a fuck ton of money. Like, dude, I would drop $5,000 when we would go drinking. I'd take one day off, or I'd take a couple days off a week every 7 months, come home with like 20 grand, and we would burn through it. The crazy thing is that like those nights were awesome and I had a lot of fun, but none of those people have ever called. I don't even think I have them on Facebook anymore. Like, these people are gone and they never gave a fuck. So like when you have money, it makes you really just want to stick to the people who knew you when you didn't, because then it's easier to remember that stuff, and it makes us feel like maybe they'll be protected from like the evils of my money. Like Token talked about this in his newest album, where like he loves his boys and like he wants to help them, support them, but then like maybe he's like poisoning them and taking away their will to be an individual because they're not earning their own stuff. Prof talks about deep shit, even though he does it in like a joking way. Like, and that's like what most comedy is. Like, you ever hear the joke that like, well, not the joke, but the post where it's like, check in on your funny friends, and it'll be like a picture of like Filthy Frank on the internet, and then you're like, fuck, dude, yeah, he's having the time of his life. But then like when the cameras are off and he's alone, he's just sitting there thinking about killing himself probably, and he's just depressed and crushed, and you know what I mean? Like, your comedians are people that are usually funny because they're trying to give you something they can't give themselves. You should do your best to check in on the funny people in your life a little more frequently than you think to. Like, you don't make it apparent, because they're probably smart enough to pick it up, but the smarter a person is, the more they recognize their suffering.
Class to everybody who was here from the fucking beginning. Yeah. You talking about toast, I'm talking about bread. You talking about gross, I'm talking about net. You hold the false hopes, folks is overdressed. Folks.
There is some like, dude, he's got some of that Camus in him, bro. I feel like my boy is like the rap personification if he was a philosopher, and his whole thing is like absurdism. False hope is dangerous. It calls people into like subjectivity, though it is so important at the same time. Hope is what gets you out of bed in the morning, but hope is also what keeps you constrained by the system. Like all things, it comes to a balance. Like, my boy's talking about some heavy shit. I love it.
Folks is overdressed.
And after going and like listening to Aesop Rock, where I think I'm a good writer, and like I'm pretty smart. I got this, Well, I can't do a lot of things, but thinking is something I'm good at. And then like I make a song and I think the song is beautiful, and AI is like, dog, we know everything you were trying to say. You're fucking wrecked. Meanwhile, you go listen to an Aesop Rock song and you're like, this is like layered upon layered upon layered. Our boy Prof does something similar, but he doesn't go as deep because he kind of likes to hang in the absurdism, I believe. I think that he wants to get deep enough to get deep, but he wants to hang around and be loose enough to be enjoyable while doing so. He's smart enough to understand his pain, but he's also smart enough to understand that like making the pain humorous and digestible makes it easier for people to parse the message. Aesop Rock requires you to go through all of it line by line with a fucking thesaurus, which is a cool experience, but it's harder to enjoy because of that. Meanwhile, Prof will cover heavy, dark topics, but do so in a more whimsical way that makes them feel safer and approachable. And he's like, hey man, this is my darkness. I'll let you come visit it, but it's going to be through my safety glass of humor. And you're going to get it. And I'm going to like open the door every once in a while, let a little of it come out and hit you, but I will protect you from the darkness that I'm talking about. And then Aesop is like, I'm going to throw you into this. And if you don't get it, fuck you, fuck off. It's like the same approach, but on two opposite sides of the spectrum. And that's why they both have this level of authenticity to them that makes them so interesting.
So possessed over clothes and hopeless sex. You acting funny, flashing money, dog. You racking up clout. I got cards. Look at them charged. Look at them racking up miles. Look at them packing a house all the way down to the south.
Yeah, that dude's adorable. I don't know who that is, but he looks adorable.
Look at them racking up miles. Look at them packing a house all the way down to the south. I got a house. I got it all figured out. None of you goofies allowed. I'ma live like a cannon off safety. I'm on a win streak, baby. You gon' hate me.
It's so good to see our boy winning, dude. I watched Nikki, I think. Nikki or my girlfriend, Drink, sent me a clip of Prof talking shit about the people that shot Alex Peretti. And I wanted to do a reaction to it, but I'd already seen it, so it wouldn't have been honest anymore. But I felt so proud of my boy at that moment, where when he started talking about, where the fuck are the decent men? What's wrong with being kind to your neighbor? I was like, yes, being a strong male doesn't mean being toxic all the time. Like, we learned this from like the ancient warriors of Japan. Like, Musashi Miyamoto and Keiji Mieda were like these amazing mythical figures of masculinity. But they were also poets that talked about self-control and being kind to one another. Like, there are stories in history of Kenshin Uesigi, who believed in Bijomunten, the god of war, where he was warring with Shingen Takeda. And even though these were mortal enemies, they hated one another. They met each other on the battlefield and killed each other's men numerous times. And then when Shingen was finally in a really bad position, because he was known as like this legendary tactician, they had a famine, they lost a bunch of their crops. Instead of Kenshin coming in and killing everybody and taking over, because he could have, he gave them fucking rice. Because kindness is a fucking virtue, dude. Your enemy is not the people, it's you want power. Like, what happened to honor and chivalry and respect? Doing a kind thing for a person doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. Being a scared, petulant child that's angry at the world and looking to constantly break it all the time is not an adult. That's not a masculine man. And I don't know what happened to the red pill movement to think that a guy that has 5 fucking wives like Andrew Tate, who sexually abuses women and shit, is the peak of masculinity when the fucker can't even grow hair. Oh! I've never met a bigger loser in my fucking life. Just because you have money doesn't make you a good person. Fuck. This is masculinity. A man who is willing to look at his darkness and laugh to make the world a better place. That is peak masculinity. That's what it means to be a man. You better autofocus, bitch. Jesus. There we go. I was moving around way too much.
You gonna hear me coming all the way. I've been thinking a little differently lately. I'ma tell you the truth and they gon' say things, but you gon' hear me coming either way.
Facts, dude. It doesn't matter, dude. Say what you believe to be true. And if it gets you in trouble, it gets you in trouble. I've lost over 50 subscribers. My views are significantly down. I will still say what I think I need to say. Full stop. Full send. No one in the world will convince me otherwise. And if that means I'm the only person in the fucking room screaming into the void like it's been most of my life, I will be that guy. 100%. Speak your truth. Be honest. When you're honest, you don't have to think about anything. You don't have to recall your statements. You just say what you think and feel, and then articulate yourself in the best manner you can and be the best version of yourself. And people will like you for who you are, not what you look to be, not what you represent, not who they can use or mold. They will have to respect you, even if they don't like you.
I put my mind to it, little buddy, you know I'ma do it all the way. Roaches hate I'm making moves, I listen about as much as I can tolerate. From here
I feel like a sick line would have been like, you gotta smoke roaches while I got a dime. Like, oh, sorry.
now we cutting out the people who don't contribute to winning.
Yeah.
Raise your glass to everybody who was here from the fucking beginning. Hey, yeah. My crew filled with hustlers. You could ask me.
Hey, as a truck driver, I've been there. I've done that, dude. You get them fucking travel style pizzas, dude. They're like $9. They are way overpriced, but you're so fucking hungry and you want some actual pizza and you've been on the road forever. You're gonna make it work. I found a deep dish place in Cincinnati. I swear to God, they delivered. I was in Parma. Oh my God. I don't even remember what they're called. I just remember every time I went back to that Cincinnati fucking Conway or whatever. Actually, they go by XPO now. I ordered that shit and they would show up within 20 minutes and I got this fucking bowl of bread, meat, and sauce. I couldn't even eat the whole thing in one go. I'd have to save it. Eat half. I don't do that with I eat the whole pizza in one go. Not here. The fat guy couldn't fat, dude. He was thick. He was juicy. And why would fucking Parma, Ohio have Chicago level deep dish? Like what?
Hardworking, intelligent black men. I got lawyers. I got officers.
Why is that such a pretty shot, dude? They must have turned up like the saturation on the lights up. That's wild, bro.
Black men, I got lawyers, I got offices, plural, I'm an employer. I copped a brand new whip and I'm an enjoyer. Bruh.
Hey, you an employer? Hey, Prof, you ever need a fat buck? I'm cheap as shit, dog. I'll do like $6 a day. I would be a hype man, bro. You ever want to see a fat guy do a belly dance? I got you, man. Fuck. Sorry.
I'm moving with exuberance. Fuck the game, pass a military grade lubricant. Who did me from all the haters that they really.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Look, I'm just gonna be honest, bro. I hang out in a lot of femboy circles when I was a younger kid growing up, man. I found some porn stars that were starting out, and I was like, I'm interested in what they talk about. Apparently, a lot of these people, when they put stuff in their butt, they use gun lube, dude. So maybe using military grade like fucking lubrication might be like what they do on porn sets. I don't know, bro. That's kind of genius though. Like, and my boy's onto that. He knows. He knows. Also, $6 a day, Prof, just because that's how much just a big 20-ounce Red Bull a day, and I'll do whatever you need. I was gonna say I'll suck your dick. I wouldn't. I would.
Military grade lubricant. Who did me from all the haters that they really mad, bro? Rapper super Michael Jackson bad, no dad joke. I seen big homies turn to jealous homies, turn to little homies. I know the deal, you a hater, just be real, homie.
Hey, you know, that's so wild, though. It's so weird how, like, a person really wants in your circle, and then if they don't get in, they become a hater. I saw this shit in real time. I was like, this is not real. This isn't real, dude. Because normally, like, I'm a person. Like, if someone wants to be homies, we homies, you know? Like, I don't have to have that cutoff limit because people will just do that on their own. Like, people like me up until a certain point. Like, this is me. I'm not putting on a character. This isn't a show. This is me. This is me 24/7. Okay? My poor girlfriend has to live with this, okay? That's bullshit. I apologize, baby. All right, but for everyone else, everyone's like, yeah, this guy's funny, dude. Let's hang out with this dude. And then like a couple weeks later, they're like, oh, this is it. This is like, I do this when we're gaming, dog, okay? Eventually people leave. Like, and they're smart for it because like, I'm a lot, dude. Because like, when I'm alone, I don't talk to shit. I just game, I'm quiet. I can go hardcore introvert, bro. But dude, I'm telling you. So for me, I don't really have to like be careful with who I let around because they kind of just leave on their own. They filter themselves in and out. Like I've seen so many people come into my life and then a couple months, they are gone. And I didn't change anything. But it's weird though, because I saw this in real time. So I'm a big YouTube guy. I follow a lot of content creators that do like debates and stuff. So there was this feller named Drew Pavlov, and he would really wanted to get in with Destiny over at DGG. Well, the thing is, Destiny's not going to like you just, you know, like these guys that make it usually make it for good reason. they're willing to be cold and calculated with a lot of what they do. And Prof is probably the same way. Ren's probably the same way. They're not usually letting a lot of new people into their circle. They have their core dynamic. That dynamic is made, and all the people that come knocking around now are usually just clout chasers or fans that might be slightly obsessed. So a lot of these people are going to be like, hey, cool, man, thanks. And they're going to cut off the conversation there. They might trade back and forth a few things, but it's all going to be light on the surface. And then usually people going, oh, you're a huge inspiration. You changed my life. And then the guy's like, thank you so much. And that's usually how the conversation goes. It usually can go deeper than that. Anyway, Destiny cut off Drew Pavlov and was like, I'm not talking to this crazy kid. This guy's and then he went full MAGA afterwards. Like, he went literally, one post was, Destiny is one of the last liberals holding the line against MAGA and the far left. And you're like, hell yeah, dude, that's an ally right there. And then within a month, I opened Twitter again, went there, saw his thing, and now he's like posting videos about like how Destiny is a sex pest. And now he's like doing all the far left talking points and the far right talking points. And you're like, what the fuck happened? And then they debated and Destiny ended his career. And now there's a good reason why Destiny really never put him on that pedestal. All of that to say that, like, your haters actually are like former fans that you just didn't give whatever they this like invisible like level of input should be, which is a bummer because you're a person too. And you know, you're crafting worlds and making music or doing this or going to debate. Like, you're busy, you know? So, fuck yeah, dude. Prof is, again, talking about some good shit. Like, these are life lessons you have to learn, and he's just giving them to you.
Hater, just be real, homie. Hold your breath, clench your fist till your hands hurt. Careful, all that jealousy might turn to cancer. I imagine you somewhere in a camper, crying like, why my prayers unanswered?
Bro! Could you imagine if people spent less time bitching about their life and doing? I had this struggle the other day. So, like, I've been looking at my YouTube channel and I'm watching the views and everything decline. And initially, my thought was, fuck it, give up. You've done it before. Who gives a shit, you know? But then I thought I had this reoccurring moment. It's like, wait, you made content for years that no one watched. Yeah, you came and gone and did it at your own leisure, but just because you have a bad month doesn't mean that it's over, you know? Like, this is the point. So, like, I had my explosive moment with the Ren stuff, and it was really big, and it showed a lot of traction. But as all things explode in popularity for a second, they also die down. I expanded the things I was doing and going in different directions. I'm not following a lot of consensus ideas around what a channel is supposed to be. Most people make multiple channels for different things. I should have a streaming channel dedicated to video games. I should have a video essay channel dedicated to video essays, and I should have a reaction channel dedicated to reactions. If I did that, I would actually be able to build a better toolkit to send out to more people. Like, instead of like this big, like essentially a resume of stuff, or a big portfolio of stuff that I'm doing on one channel, it's harder for the channel and the algorithm to put my content in the correct direction. That's just something I have to come to terms with. But instead of playing their game, I'm going to keep doing things my way. I think that eventually there's going to be this shift. But in order to do that, I need to step up my game in other fields. My editing needs to get better. My camera work needs to get better. I'm going to use better color coordination. I've downloaded some programs. I'm working on some shit so that I can make my video essays better than just a fucking yellow face floating by while I talk about stuff. I'm looking up editing effects, and I spent the last 2 weeks going into this shit. And some of these music videos I'm putting out are some of these being utilized in different ways. And I just downloaded DaVinci Resolve, which is like modern programs that can be used in Hollywood. Like, it's a transferable skill. Instead of using Sony Vegas that I've barely patched together over the course of the last 12 years of, you know, having limited capabilities on it, I'm going to dive deep into DaVinci Resolve and try to make bigger, broader videos with actual editing and stuff. But I'm having to relearn the entire fucking program. Holy fuck, dude. I don't even know how to make slow motion something right now, or how to mask or mute a line to where it doesn't show up in the recording. It's a process.
That's life, dog. Ain't that about a bitch? Let me tell you something. I won. I'm rich. I'm a
Hey! He did, though. He did win. Like, why would the guy be stuck in a camper begging, bitching at God, saying, how come my life didn't make it, but Prof did? Because Prof kept showing up and doing it. Instead of sitting there bitching about his life in that camper, he got up and fucking did something. No different than with my YouTube channel. I have to find a new way to like work on these things. Because there is an audience for the stuff that I do. Even if it's small, that audience means something. And with AI becoming more prolific, and it's going to be harder and harder for people to tell, the human experience is what people are going to be looking for.
In the camper, crying like, why my prayers unanswered? That's life, dog, ain't that about a bitch? Psst, let me tell you something, I won. I'ma live like a cannon off safety. I'm on a win streak, baby, you gon' hate me. You gon' hear me coming all the way.
Something that was a really good harmonization right there, actually. Something that's really interesting is like the way that he's giving off this bravado that he's carefree and he just does whatever the fuck he wants. And he probably does. But what's underneath that is Prof is a very intelligent person. He's using effective marketing and he's planned his moves probably very well. He's probably put some foresight into what he does and then does whatever he wants. But it gives off the air that like, fuck it, do whatever you want. It gives off that air so people really like it. But underneath that, there's a tactical mind working behind the level. He's like judging the landscape and he's making slow moves. Like he's like Tywin? No. Who's the old dude in Game of Thrones? The cool, smart king guy that, well, the hand of the king that outsmarted everyone until he took an arrow to the chest. That's my boy here. He's like tactical with it, man. But he gives off the air that he's just completely carefree. I love it, dude. It's so genius.
You gon' hate me. You gon' hear me coming all the way. I've been thinking a little differently lately. I'ma tell you the truth and they gon' say things, but you gon' hear me.
Hey, this whole time I thought he had like little twink body, but he's like massive compared to these people.
Coming either way. Yeah, buddy. If I put my mind to it, nobody, you know I'ma do it all the way. Roaches hate, I'm making moves, I listen about as much as I can tolerate. From here on out, we cutting out the people who don't contribute to winning. Raise your glass to everybody who was here from the fucking beginning. Yeah. Hey. Look, 99% of everybody I came across in this fucking business didn't think what I've achieved right now was possible. You dumb.
That's true, dude. That's true. I like it, dude. He managed to make it while being himself. He didn't sell nothing out. He didn't do it with any crazy help from anybody other than the people that lifted him up and his fans. Like, that's cool, man.
Percent of everybody I came across in this fucking business didn't think what I've achieved right now was possible. You dumb fucks. And I don't want to seem hateful or spiteful because, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually kind of happy right now in my life. And a sore winner is the worst, right? You know what I mean? But I got a long list of motherfuckers that can suck my dick!
4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I gotta list myself. I hope that I make something. You know, I hope I make it sustainable. That's what I need. Just where I can sustain a life on this, to where I'm not sitting here scared of every time my girlfriend goes to the store and how much food I fucking consume. You know, because right now I just can't get a job with my current circumstances. I'm in a foreign country. My passport there's been like a fucking hang up on this shit. So I can't get my passport. So I can't get fucking married. I can't fucking work. I'm stuck in limbo in a foreign country while I'm trying to become a citizen. I am fucked in the ass right now. But that being said, if I ever make it to where this is sustainable, to where I don't have to have the constant fear of like, you know, oh shit, like my phone is currently off. I'm waiting until Wednesday when I can pull some money from Buy Me a Coffee to pay my phone bill. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And it's another $20 because it's turned off right now, which means, bruh. Anyway, what I'm trying to say though is, if I can make it to where I'm making like, I don't know, like $5,000 a year from YouTube, that would be fantastic. and I could afford my phone bill, groceries, and slowly putting away money to start building up the van, because we plan on getting in van life in 2 years. In 2 years, we're going to go from a music reaction channel where we still do music reacts, but it'll be like sparsely. And we're going to do vlogs about traveling America and Canada in a fucking van. That's the goal, dude. That's when she retires in 2 years, we're hitting the road. I brought the van up. I already got it built up enough to live in for one person, poorly, but you know, we're gonna make this work. But like the day that I can make it as a living, it's gonna be like this gratifying, like, fuck you, dude. Like I did some, even if it's $5,000 is enough to live if you're living in a van, bro. That's not a lot of money, but like once I hit that, I've made it. You know what I mean? Like when I first moved up here to be with her and stuff, like I was like, I make about $400 a month from YouTube and buy me a coffee. I think we could do this. And now I make like $100 in 3 months off of YouTube. But when you make it, it's like this level of like, I did a thing that no one thought I could do. Like when I was a small kid, my dad told me I couldn't make money playing video games. So I became a truck driver. And had I just stayed with video games, I could have been some of the first guys getting into the video game thing, because that's what I was trying to do. But no one would respect me as that in my house. So I became a truck driver, made a lot of money. And then by the time video game things started becoming a thing, I started playing with my buddies and they were all so much better than me. They were like, what the fuck happening? I'm like, a job for 4 years. Fuck you.
But I got a long list of motherfuckers that can suck my dick.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I very much could be the best rap performer in the world right now. I don't know. Still trying to figure it out.
YouTube music.
To be fair, that's probably true. Because it's not like Ren can do live shows very often. And like PROF has an amazing on-screen performance. Like he's got this like movement to him that's just abstract and weird enough to like catch your attention. And you can see people that do the similar dances in his like audience line. PROF is the amazing enigma to me. It's been a wild experience this last year. I've learned so much more about music and different perspectives. I've seen some of these very interesting artists do crazy different things, from Ren to PROF to Norm Sand to fucking Aesop. Hell, even Oliver Anthony was bringing some fire this year. And then we got the boys that made that Fuck Trump song that was really cool. It's been a wild journey. I also got an experienced bagman, though he hit me with a copyright thing, or he took my money, like my 30 cents from a video that got 1,000 views, so fuck him. But then we also found a young lady named Rudy, and then we found an old man named Marvin that just plays covers, and he's fucking fantastic. I've had a crazy year, and I've had a good time talking about all this stuff, man. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. I'm sorry I ranted and raved about a lot of stuff, but I've been doing less reactions, so the ones that I do have a lot more crazy will in them than before. All right, guys. Have a wonderful life. Be safe. Party hard. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Me and crazy Elon are going to go hit the bong again. And I'm going to go visit with my girlfriend. It's almost lunchtime. Drink. All right, guys. Peace the fuck out and have a wonderful day.
Future uncertain, wide as the sea. I see a chance to be freed from apathy. You, my muse, my mirror, my light. From broken blues to sleepless nights, I write my failures into stars, constellations of who we are. Through every scar, the truth remains. We lose to learn what love sustains. In pursuit of tomorrow.